What are consumption-based services and why do they matter to you? Well, stick around, and on tonight's episode, we're going to talk about just that. But first, good evening, Agile acquisition enthusiasts. Welcome back to the Underground Digital Tiki Bar. It's Friday night, and that means it's time for another episode of Agile Acquisition and Alcohol. Cheers. Okay, consumption-based services. What does it matter? What is it? And why are we talking about it here on this episode? Well, consumption-based services are paying for what you get. Similar to time and material, if you think about it, you pay for the hours, you get the hours. The difference is with consumption-based services, we're talking about products. We're talking about getting technical capability. And unlike time and material, it's not best effort. You get actually the performance of the software and the capabilities of the software to provide. Why does it matter? Well, if you think about how the federal government is starting to move towards cloud adoption, they don't generally have a contract structure to pay for cloud services in the way that you or I would pay for it in our everyday life. If you have Google Photo Drive or Google G Suite or something like that, you pay for a certain amount of volume and that's what you get. When the government buys cloud services, they tend to use a fixed price approach where they'll buy sort of tranches or chunks of storage and capacity and as a service capabilities. And then they have thresholds where they have to issue a contract modification to unlock more volume or access. So why is that? Well, the reason is in the government today, the statute that provides for buying in any other mechanism than traditional FAR-based FAR Part 16 contracts is utility-based pricing, which is found under FAR Part 41. And utility-based pricing is exclusively for utilities, so gas, water, electric, things like that. But it is a good beacon of hope because that shows the government does have the ability through appropriations to pay for what it uses as it uses it on some sort of metered allocation. Well, why are we talking about this here? Under NDAA 21, Section 834, our dear friends at the Hask and Sask once again did a great thing where they provided a pilot capability requiring the Department of Defense to run pilots, as you would expect, implementing consumption-based service acquisition. So DoD now has not only the authority, but the requirement to, in fact, run acquisitions using this approach. This is fantastic news for the general cloud adoption approach for the Department of Defense, but also for a product approach, for an approach of not just hosting everything on DoD servers, but actually getting commercial capabilities or commercial-like capabilities that are often provided in a SaaS model into the Department of Defense, which can streamline implementation, save on development and sustainment costs, and continue to make the department more and more effective at meeting their mission. And that is critically important, of course. Now, there are some things to keep in mind. The authority doesn't necessarily provide any funding associated with it. So this is going to require our forward-leaning innovators in the Department of Defense to use this authority and apply it to activities that they were already going to pursue. And I know there's plenty of you out there, and if you're thinking about where does this make sense, send questions or leave them below, and happy to brainstorm some ideas. But there is a lot of opportunity for it's at least 8 pilots. And hopefully what we want to avoid is organizations trying to take credit for programs that are already underway that kind of seem like they might meet the definition of attempting this, but actually going all in and embracing this and trying to figure out what models work for the department and what models will be scalable for the department. So this can continue to grow and become a norm and not just a single section within the NDAA, but a future acquisition authority that's included in the DFAR and FAR. So there you have it, consumption-based service acquisitions. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them below. Give me a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. And until next week, cheers.